Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Creature Chronicles, where we educate the world with one creature at a time. I am your host, Johnny, and today we are going to meet an incredible bird with a face you won't ever forget. Meet the Shoebill stork, a native to the eastern regions of Africa, including the countries of Uganda, South Sudan, and Zambia. This bird makes its home in vast wetland habitats, especially freshwater marshes with lots of reed beds and papyrus plants to hide behind, making it the perfect place for an ambush hunter. Shoebills are big birds, standing 5 feet tall when fully grown, weighing over 16 pounds, and with an 8-foot wingspan, it is one of the largest flying birds in Africa, about the same size as a marabou stork. But here's the thing, even though they are sometimes referred to as storks, the shoebill is more closely related to birds like pelicans and herons, with its closest relative being its fellow African bird, the hammerkop. Let's get a better look at that beak, and boy, what a beak it is. 7 to 9 inches long and 4 inches wide. That's the same as a size 14 shoe. But I wouldn't be putting my foot in that beak. The front tip is hooked, very useful in snagging prey such as fish and snakes, and once caught, is then sliced up by the sharp edges of the beak, like a living set of hedge clippers. As ambush predators, shoebills rely on stealth and the cover of the reeds to catch their prey by surprise. Their big feet help to spread out their weight on the mucky terrain and move across the dense vegetation as they look for a good fishing spot. And when finding one, the shoebill will then sit still like a master fisherman, waiting for a bite on the line. So, at first glance, you might just think it's some statue somebody left out. That is, until it locks eyes with you. That chilling gaze may be a look that can freeze you stiff, but the eyes of a shoebill have excellent binocular vision, meaning its eyesight allows it to notice the slightest movement beneath the water. So by the time some catfish, frog, or baby crocodile realizes there's a shoebill watching, it'll already be snapped up by that guillotine-like beak. And whatever unlucky prey it may be, it won't even hear a shoebill coming. In fact, they are so stealthy, they can fly almost as silent as owls. Now, shoebills are one of those solitary kinds of birds, usually preferring to keep to themselves within their own territories. However, like in any community, they always want to make sure they keep in touch with their neighbors. To do this, shoebills will clap their beaks together rapidly, creating a sound that can sometimes travel a quarter of a mile.
There it is.
It kind of sounds like a machine gun, or an obnoxiously loud woodpecker. And I guess they have to if they want to keep the nosier neighbors out of their corner of the marsh. But during certain times of the year, especially during the dry season, shoebills will gather together to find a mate, which would sound more like a war zone than a serenade with all that beak clattering. Afterwards, the pair will either go their separate ways or stay together for life to raise 1 to 3 chicks. Shoebills make their nests from reeds and other material that can float on the water, which keeps the chicks safe from most predators. Plus, it makes it easier for the parents to find enough food and water to feed their young, at least for a few months before they grow big enough to fend and hunt for themselves. Unfortunately, these amazing birds are slowly beginning to disappear in the wild. They are classified as vulnerable on the list of threatened species. Through a combination of illegal wildlife trade and the loss of their wetland habitats, there are somewhere between 3,300 and 5,300 shoebills left in the wild. In zoos, shoebills are a little bit harder to find. In Europe, there are at least 5 zoos that hold these birds. There are even fewer in America. In fact, only 2 of them display shoebills: Dallas World Aquarium in Texas and Zoo Tampa in Florida. And I've been very lucky to see them in both and being close by to one of those zoos. Speaking of which, it turns out that Zoo Tampa is the only one of the 2 that is actively trying and has successfully bred shoebills to boost their population. In Zambia's Bangui Ulu wetlands, a group of local fishermen take part in the Shoebill Guard, a conservation program that helps to research and monitor nesting activities of wild shoebills and prevent the illegal trade of chicks within the black market. In fact, since the program's founding in 2012, 6 smuggled shoebill chicks were rescued and rehabilitated so they could join the 25 other wild chicks that fledged that year. And it was thanks to the many dedicated people who took time out of their schedule to help protect the wondrous wildlife they share their home with. And that, my friends, was the shoebill, a literal living dinosaur that still roams Africa's wetlands, just as its ancestors did so long ago. I hope you all learned a thing or two about this extraordinary bird, and maybe even have it on some of your favorites list. Whether you're a bird watcher, animal lover, or a zoo junkie like myself, I hope you get the chance to get out there and see these amazing birds for yourselves. Just remember not to stare into those eyes for a long time. Remember, keep wild on your adventures, and I'll see you all on the next Creature Chronicles.